Coach Summerall, I mean, he's got a record too, so he's bringing that with him, and he's not used to losing. And these guys, they'll be pushed. They'll be pushed to be the best they can be. And if you talk to the players, you can tell the attitude's really changed than what it was before.
Well, and back when you coach, you had those guys throwing a lot. You were throwing all
summer.
the time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, preparation. I think John Wooden and Arthur Ashe also had that statement that preparation leads to confidence, and confidence will bring success. So preparation, practice over and over and over, and try to practice perfection, as John Wooden would say. He made them practice close to perfection every time.
Yeah. Another Duly Noted podcast comes to you from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point. Okay, welcome into another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We'll have the head ball coach on in a little bit. He's got a lot going on this month. We were talking about it, and we'll talk with him about it. We've got the Legends event here at Spurrier's with Coach Spurrier with Tim Tebow and Danny Waterfall. And they have a big gala. They have an opportunity to catch balls from him. That's going on, and that's for Isaiah 117. His anniversary party is this month. And also their 5th anniversary party for the restaurant is this month. So a lot going on here at Spurrier's. On Thursday, we'll have Justin Hawkinson from On 3, and he will talk about Auburn. We wanted to talk about Auburn. We talked about doing that. And then next Thursday, right now, tentatively, Chris Doring is going to join us. He's got to wait and double-check his schedule, but he has agreed to join us, and that'll always be fun. We want to get him before the season, not only to talk about John Summerall, but talk about the series they're doing is really good, about all the new coaches. And in fact, I saw the Ryan Silverfield one, and I was like, man, that grass is incredible. And then all of a sudden I realized it was actually artificial turf. So I texted Chris and I go, is that artificial turf? And he goes, yeah, it is. So, all right, let us get to our Money Metals starting 5. MoneyMetals.com is your home for gold and silver purchases, one of the largest distributors in all the United States. 2 Gator grads are running it, and you can reach them at 1-800-800-1865 or at moneymetals.com. All right, number 1 on our moneymetals.com starting 5, and that is, it's here. Football season is now officially here. I tell you when football season starts. It starts the Monday of the first practice. That's when it starts. And the Monday when there's an NFL game, and there's an NFL game Thursday night. Will I watch it? Some of it, yes, because it's football. But the bottom line is, what we really care about is what's going on at Florida and what John Summerall is able to get out of his team. And again, we've had unbelievable rain the last 2 days. I think it's going to rain a lot this week. But yeah, that's why you build an indoor facility. And certainly everybody's got them now, including Florida. Florida was very hesitant to do that, but they finally got it done. Tuesday, they have a little media day. It's not really like the media days that we used to have in the olden days. There was a time when they would bring every player for media day, and then they made it where it was just players that were playing a lot. In fact, the only time I ever interviewed Aaron Hernandez was at media day, and that's why he showed up, because everybody had to show up. But now it's all the coaches and a couple of players on Tuesday, and then the quarterbacks on Friday. But I'm going to go tomorrow and see what they've got to say. I think it'll be interesting. Wednesday, the first practice, and I know we're all excited. Look, you know my rule on this. Nothing happens on media day I'm sorry. That's not the rule. Don't worry about anything you hear from any coaches or any players about fall practice. The only thing you worry about is injuries. That's the only thing. Have a healthy fall practice. And if you can go into it and you've done all the work and you're ready and you can execute your plays, that's what you got to do. Guys have to take practice seriously. I wrote about this a little bit in my back nine. You know, you have to just have good practices. And look, I'm a kid. I'm a guy who is a young man. I don't want to say a kid. I was in junior college. Okay. Robbie and I would drive over from Palatka, and you couldn't watch practice. And we would go up to the top of Florida Field and watch practice because we were that obsessed with practice. We wanted to see if they were any good, if they were going to be able to execute, if they were going to be able to do things. And there were times when I would watch them practice and I would go, oh, we're in trouble. Or, oh, we're going to be really good. So, again, we don't get to watch practice now, but maybe I'll climb up to the top and watch another practice. I don't know. I don't think I'll do that. I don't know if I can get to the top anymore in my old age. But look, this is an important first season. I don't want to say it's as I think it might be, and Coach will talk about this, I know. Coach Spurrier's first season was important. We didn't realize how good it was going to be. I don't think we had that perception. Because they were always 7-5, that's what they had become after '85. They had some unbelievable wins during that stretch, and then he comes in and all of a sudden they're win the SEC, best in the SEC. But I think this John Summerall one is the most important first year for any coach in the history of the University of Florida, and I'm just going to say that. And here's why. And I'm not saying he's got to win, he's got to get in the playoff. I'm just saying, don't go 4-8 anymore. Don't go 6-7. Win more games than you lose. Have a winning record, and maybe we'll feel like we're on the way because we already feel like it's trending upward. Everybody does, but it's got to happen on the field. We need to see it on the field. We thought it was trending upward when Billy Napier came in, and when he won that first game against Utah. But the truth is he should have lost it. I mean, if what was his name, Rising? If he doesn't throw that interception in the end zone was just terrible throw, and that cost him the game from the 3-yard line. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is I just think this is a giant first season and I think more, and maybe that'll be a good 5 things I can do for the Patreon readers, because I've been busting my tail on Patreon, and I'm getting more people to join. I want to get a lot of people to be part of it, because I think I don't want to say anything. I think you're missing out on some really good stuff, and I work really hard on it, and I'll be doing Grading the Gators on there every Saturday right after the game. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Okay, let's move along to number 2 on our Money Medals starting 5, and that is the good news. I guess it's good news. I don't even know that it's good news, but I guess it's good news that the federal judge in Colorado comes down with this thing and says everybody's eligible. And Denzel Aberdeen, of course, that means he's eligible. Well, obviously the NCAA is going to appeal it, but the reason I say it may not be good news is all these people that are going to be eligible now, and I think people thought that players that were playing in the NFL could come back to college, and I was trying to get Percy Harvin on, but but no, they clarified it. It's a 5-5 deal. That's what she's ruling. She's ruling that if you have exhausted your 4 years of eligibility, you could play a 5th year. That's all she's saying. And now the NCAA is still going to appeal that, but I don't think they'll win that appeal. And I think because they're already put the rule in for next year. So I think Denzel Aberdeen will be fine to play for Florida. I always kind of, want to make sure, but anybody who's signed a contract is not going to be able to play. So we'll see. But again, I was watching a highlight tape of Percy Harvin at Florida, and I think some people forget just how good he was, but I don't think anybody does. I think people do remember. They remember how great he was. So, but anyway, that's why I mentioned Percy Harvin, because if he was at that same speed and that same first step and that same strength and wanted to come back and play college, I'd love to have him. I think of all the former Gators, he would be number 1 at their best. that I would want to have on the team. Now, you would say Tebow, you might say Werfel, you might say Ike. Those are fine selections, but I would want to have Percy Harvin. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent there. Let's get to number 3 on our Money Medals starting 5, and that is what is happening in baseball. Obviously, the free agent signing period is over at 6 o'clock today. The Braves picked up a couple of guys, got some help, big ERAs, but I was like everybody. I wanted Tarek Skubal, and of course, he wanted to go to the Dodgers. The Dodgers wanted him, and they said, okay, we'll take you. We'll take you because we want to have 5 great pitchers for the postseason. The Braves have 1, okay? And I don't know that it's going to get any better. They're hoping guys will come back from injury, but I don't know that that's going to happen. And it is discouraging, but I will say this. Don't hate the player, hate the game. The way Major League Baseball is set up with no salary cap, this is what teams do. Now, the Yankees used to do this, and of course, they've done it since then, and it's not worked for them. And that's why you have a glimmer of hope that the Dodgers aren't going to three-peat. Unless you're a Dodger fan. And I have nothing against the Dodgers. I don't like the Dodgers. I root against them because they were in the Braves division when I was really into the Braves, and they had gotten to be really good. Anyway, I'm rambling here. The Braves got some help anyway, but we'll see what happens if there's any more deals that'll go on before 6 o'clock, and then we'll talk about those on Thursday. Let's go ahead and move on to number 4 on our Money Medals starting 5, and that is the curious story about Harrison Bader. Now, the reason I bring it up is because this has happened before, but he was out late, I think it was 2 o'clock in the morning, riding his scooter, and just because you're riding a scooter, but anyway, he ran into the back of a fire truck. The fire truck ran over his foot. Now he's out. He had plantar fasciitis in the foot already and was out. Now he's out for longer, and the Giants took his salary away. They said, we're not paying you. We're not going to pay you when you do stupid things like that. And maybe it's in his contract. I don't know. But the bottom line is, same thing happened to him in Gainesville. It was 2014, and he got cited. I think he got in an accident and got cited for a DUI. Now, they ended up getting that overturned. And look, I'm not trying to pick on the guy, but maybe scooters are not the way to go. That's all I'm saying, buddy. Maybe San Francisco's not the place to go either, because you're at a bad team with a coach who's clearly outmatched. But again, when I say coach, it's because he was a coach at Tennessee. Now he's a manager. But anyway, that Harrison Bader story is bizarre. That's all I can say. Uber, man. If I can Uber out here every Monday, you can Uber around places instead of driving your scooter. All right. Let us get to number 5 on our Money Medals starting 5. And, of course, number 5 on Mondays, as always, Steve and Christine Wendig present the Olympic Gators of the Week or the Week or Gator. I was trying to think what I was trying to say. Yes, our Olympic Gators, we got 2 of them because I didn't mention these when we were talking about Florida and the preseason volleyball. And I did want to mention that 2 Florida players were selected for the preseason team, which means nothing but means something. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really mean anything if you're a preseason or on a watch list, but if you are, you got a better chance maybe of getting into the mix. But I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. I know that I don't consider watch lists. And I'm still voting the Heisman and the Biletnikoff and a couple other things. But anyway, Jordan Bird and Alec Roth. Is it Roth or Rothy? I don't know. Rothy, I think it is. Anyway, Rothe. I need to spend more time watching volleyball. I got to be honest with you. I enjoy watching them, but they last year just kept losing every tight match. Anyway, they were preseason, all SEC preseason, and there were 15 players on the team. So they kind of list everybody that's any good. But I still want to give them credit for that, especially Jordan Bird, who's going to be a really good player this year. All right. That's going to do it for our Money Metals starting five. We appreciate our friends at moneymetals.com, where you can still get that silver Gator helmet. That is a cool coin, and I'm proud to have one. We'll take a break. We'll come back with Coach Spurrier. Robbie Andrew will be up too, coming up, and we'll do all that right after this break here on another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging and coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studio.
Join Steve Spurrier, Danny Warfel, and Tim Tebow together with their Heisman trophies for the Legends Gala at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill on Sunday, August 23rd. Enjoy an unforgettable night of Gator greatness while supporting the incredible mission of Isaiah 1:17 House. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com. Don't miss your chance to be part of Gator history.
You know, with a new football coach in town, everybody's talking about what it will take to build a winning program. Well, here's one thing we know. It takes more than just great offense. You need disciplined offense, a defense, a special teams. Miss one of those and you're probably not going to have the season you hope for. Same thing is true when it comes to losing weight and improving your health. At BMI TeleMed, we call it the three-legged stool. The first leg is a GLP-1 medication when it's appropriate. It's a powerful tool, but it's only part of the game. Second leg is your medical team providing individualized coaching on nutrition, strength, training, sleep, and healthy habits. And the third, and maybe the most important, is you. Your commitment, your consistency, your willingness to stay with the game plan. With these three pieces working together, that's what success looks like. Not just losing weight, but improving your health and keeping the weight off. Kick off your weight loss by calling BMI TeleMed at 727-383-1677 to schedule a free consultation.
Give me 60 seconds and I'll show you why you should be buying silver and how to get started. Recent price spikes in groceries, healthcare, gasoline, steel, and lumber tell the story of inflation, as do raging bull markets in equities and housing. As the reality of all this inflation sinks in, investors will be acting quickly to diversify and protect themselves, their families, and their assets. That's why we're offering our Silver Starter Kit to help you get started in holding tangible wealth. This mix of our most recommended forms of silver includes 9 silver coins, totaling 4 troy ounces of fine silver. These pure silver coins have a low bid-ask spread, the difference between the price you pay to buy and the price you receive to sell. Low transaction costs are one reason Investopedia calls Money Metals the best dealer in America. Don't waste any more time. Start protecting your savings today with physical precious metals at moneymetals.com/go.
Okay, welcome back to another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. It's a Meldon Monday, which means Coach Spurrier's here, and we got a lot of things to discuss, including you guys are going to be busy in August. It's going to be a busy August.
Yeah, August 23rd, we got Danny Warfel and Tim Tebow coming here to the restaurant, take a bunch of pictures and autographs, open to the public, and the beneficiary of this is Isaiah 1:17 House.
Yep.
It's a house for kids that have nowhere to go. They're out on their own, and they do a fantastic job here. They got several houses around the country, but we're going to try to raise a bunch of money for Isaiah 1:17 House for children that don't have a home. And that's a wonderful cause.
It is a great cause. In fact, they have one in Jacksonville, and Trevor Lawrence's wife funded that one, and now it's you and Tim and Danny funding this one. So tickets are available for that. You also have your 5th anniversary of the restaurant coming up. I think it's on the 18th, I think.
Yeah, I think some week before.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, we've been here 5 years, and
They said it wouldn't last.
any restaurant that goes 5 years has done pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got excellent people that work here, the chef, the paper. Freddie Waby did a super job putting it all together with the management and people that work here and all kinds of things. So, been very blessed and hope to do it another 5, 10, 15 years or whatever.
And you have your anniversary party coming up, too. So
Yeah,
get that going
yeah. My
too.
wife
Yeah.
Jerry is big on our anniversaries, and we had a 40th, and then we had a 50th, and guess what?
60?
Number 60 is coming up.
Oh, my gosh.
So
that is a miracle.
Oh, shit,
I mean, that anybody can stay married for 60 years.
or even live 60 years nowadays. But anyway, yeah, it'll be 60. And, gosh, we've invited about 200 people, and I think about all of them said, yeah, I can get there.
Oh, yeah.
I can get to your restaurant. So it'll be a big time. I think it's, let's see, what is the date of that? It's the date.
I've got it written down somewhere.
Yeah, it's the date after, it's that Monday night after, I
Yes.
think, we do the Tim Tebow and Danny Warfel event. So 24th, August 24th, that is.
And we will know that week we also have football. So we're getting into
Football
it.
season's here.
Camp starts on
You know, I
on
was telling Coach Summerall, I said, let me tell you something. You coming right now is so similar to me coming in 90. Okay, when I got here, we had a bunch of good players.
Yeah.
I mean, a bunch. And, but, you know, they're going 7-5, 6-5, things like that all the time. So that we weren't in the top 25.
Heck, they would like 7-5 now.
This Florida team is not picked in the top 25. So, but I mean, I was at Duke, so I knew what big, strong players looked like. And we didn't have a bunch up there, but they played their hearts out, and they played well coached and all that, and that's how we won an ACC. So we were able to come in here. I mean, Huey Richardson and Mark Murray. I mean, we were third in the nation in defense in '89 here at Florida, and returned 8 starters.
Yeah.
I said, golly, look at this defense we got. In fact,
And nobody was getting in the portal then. There was no portal.
no portals. They're all coming back. They're all ready to go. So we won it our first year, SEC, and then won it 6 more. But anyway, I was telling Coach Summerall, we got a better team than anybody knows. We're not picked. In fact,
Well, 9th in the SEC.
yeah, 9th in the SEC. We're not in the top 25 either.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get there probably beating, Florida
Atlantic and
and Campbell. So it might take the 3rd game of the season before we get in there. But after we beat Oklahoma State, we jumped into the top 25 and then the top 10 and pretty much stayed there for 12 years.
Yeah, that was interesting, that Oklahoma State game, because you guys just destroyed them. But, I mean, that's the thing for this team. They've got to figure out how to use those pieces that they have with Vernell Brown III and Dallas Wilson and Jaden Ball. They got to figure out how to use it all. And that's what camp is for a little bit, you know, is figuring out what you got.
And then also you got to believe we're really a good team now.
Yeah.
Let's go play like it. But look at Coach Summerall's past. He's only been a head coach 4 years, and he's won the conference championship 3 of the 4 and lost the championship game the other year. So he's used to winning, and he's got our guys convinced that we are good enough to win. Now the quarterbacks, no, they hadn't played before. Hey, Shane Matthews never played before.
Yeah, that's true.
He was
Never
on,
played.
He was on a scout team for 2 years here. Nobody even knew he was on the team until the first game of the season, and then he went on to be the SEC Player of the Year. So anyway, maybe Philo or Tramel Jones, maybe one of those guys might be SEC Player of the Year. But anyway, we're not picked very high. Everybody's picking Texas and Georgia, which you can understand. That's probably the way they should be picked right now. And we're all the way down to 9 and so forth. So I was looking at something the other day about who's spending the most money. And, of course, I think everybody knows that Texas is right there with LSU and Texas A&M. Those are 3 at the top. After that, it's Bama and Tennessee and Georgia and Oklahoma. We're about 8th or 9th in spending money. But we're right in the middle where we should be. Yeah. Unless we get
you got to have success. You know, the more you succeed, the more money comes in. Right now, I think the Gator boosters that are putting all this money up are saying, we're tired of losing. But when you win, it's way more. It's just like with the Dodgers. They keep winning. They keep getting more revenue, so they can go out and get Tarek Skubal, maybe the best pitcher out there. But, you know, you mentioned that Auburn game, and I really believe that game is going to define this season. That first big game on the road. Again, I can't understand why Florida is not playing Auburn all the time since they're right next to each other.
They're the closest team in the SEC to us. Auburn is.
But they don't.
And when we win East and West, for some reason, they told us we don't play them anymore. But Yeah, that was a good rivalry. They used to be really good. They love football at Auburn,
Oh,
but they have had a downturn. They could probably say the same thing about us. We've had 3 losing seasons in the last 4 years.
We're very similar. Yeah, two programs with proud tradition that are butting heads to try to, and the winner will probably be ranked.
After that, yeah, probably will be, and should be.
Yeah, because if Florida can go on the road and win that game, I mean that's big. But you can't worry about that game right now. All you can worry about is getting better. And I mean, I think that's the main thing. Is I think this team needs to really take practice seriously. I'm not sure they always did. Under by the way, we had Zach Pillar on Thursday, right? And he had a new nickname for Billy Napier. He called him Aw Shucks Billy. Aw Shucks. Which was pretty funny. But it was but I mean I don't know how serious people took practice, especially when you get to an interim coach. I mean it's hard to do
that. The other day the Florida-Georgia game replay was on TV, and I think it was on my bike or something. I watched about the whole second half. We had the lead on those guys in the fourth quarter. Yep. And we missed a 3rd and 1, and then we missed a 4th and 1, and they went and scored and ended up winning the game. So, I mean, talent-wise, I think we're right there with Georgia. I really do. Yeah. And once you get a coach that tells the players, we're just as good as these guys now. Now let's go play better than them. We've got to play better than them. Doesn't mean we're going to win unless we play better and coach better than those guys. So, and I think Coach Summerall does that.
Well, that's the thing. When you came in here, that was the biggest thing you wanted to do. I mean, we've talked about how you got them to rip up the AstroTurf and change the jerseys to the blue, which I agreed with 100%. But the main thing you did was instill confidence in the players. Exactly. And that's something that team they had a lot of good players, but as you said, 7-5, 8-5 at best. But right now, if they go 8-5, everybody's going to say, "Hey, we're on the winning
season." Yeah, we didn't have any 8-5s. In fact, 9-4. Yep. Had a couple of those that we lost the bowl game and lost to FSU. But a lot of the coaches are complaining about playing 9 SEC games because they could get a down the line team, and that's one win you don't have to worry about. But we played FSU every year, the last game of the season. Yeah. And if FSU, Bowden and I were, wait a minute now, we want to win the national championship. Well, we don't play each other. We'll play each other for the national championship. Let's get a win. You can schedule one of those ACC teams. In fact, he even mentioned that he didn't want to play the SEC schedule. That's why they jumped into the ACC. So anyway, your schedule does have a lot to do with it. But now with 12 or 16, how many teams make the playoffs, you can still play your in-state opponents, rivals. And that game's not as big as it used to be, but it may be, if both schools come into it with 10 wins or so.
Well, we've talked about this before. In '98, you got to play Tennessee and FSU every year, and '98 they played for the national title. Those two teams. That's how good those programs were. Right now, Summerall inherits a schedule, no Tennessee on it, and FSU stinks. So, I mean, he's
a little different now.
He's got to deal with Texas, going to Austin and playing them, and that's certainly difficult. But yeah, it's totally different from what you dealt with.
Well, playing, in fact, our first year here in '90, we lost 2 games at FSU and at Tennessee. Both of those 2 teams scored 45 points.
Yeah, I did.
Other than that, so in other words, we gave up 90 points in 2 games. In the other 9 games, we gave up 82 points. We gave more in 2 games than the other 9. That's how good our defense was. Yeah. I mean, stuff happened that game, interception, kickoff return, But we had a heck of a defense, 90, 91, and those guys could really play. And that's why we were able to win those SECs back in those days.
Yeah, it was. And it was, I mean, you guys just dominated the conference. Your conference record was incredible. And that was the problem. You had FSU was still there at the end of the year. And, you won that game sometimes, but you never were able to win out in Tallahassee.
Got a tie, didn't we?
They got a tie.
How about that? That
You got
was
a tie,
amazing.
up 31-3.
But we won the SEC the next week, so if you
Yes.
somebody'd say, would you rather have that win than that loss? No, we would rather have the SEC win, definitely. But anyway, yeah, we blew it in the fourth quarter, no question about it.
Now,
Right.
so what do you think needs to happen in fall camp with John Summerall? Because one thing is to give this team confidence that they can be good. But you can also don't want them to feel entitled at the same time. But you want them to.
Oh, they know.
Yeah.
The team knows where they're at. They know the prior records and all that. But Coach Summerall, I mean, he's got a record too, so he's bringing that with him, and he's not used to losing. And these guys, they'll be pushed. They'll be pushed to be the best they can be. And if you talk to the players, you can tell the attitude's really changed than what it was before.
Well, and back when you coach, you had those guys throwing a lot. You were throwing all
summer.
the time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, preparation. I think John Wooden and Arthur Ashe also had that statement that preparation leads to confidence, and confidence will bring success. So preparation, practice over and over and over, and try to practice perfection, as John Wooden would say. He made them practice close to perfection every time.
Yeah, well, and you'd also, with all summer, you'd have those camps. I used to come out there and interview at camp sometimes. I remember those days, back in the olden days. But I don't know. I'm excited that we're getting ready to start. We're having a media day tomorrow. I'm going to go to that and talk to a few players and coaches and everything. And I'm interested to kind of get to know Buster Faulkner a little bit. I don't know if you picked his brain at all, but he's the new offensive coordinator, which the fact that Florida finally has an offensive coordinator is really important.
Yeah, it is unusual that we didn't, but anyway, hey, we did beat Texas last year.
And lost to USF. So, I mean, it's hard to understand what happened last year.
Yeah, that's true too. But yeah, Texas, sort of interesting. It's interesting to me that Texas now they maybe spend more money anybody on their players, and they're loaded with players.
They're loaded,
okay,
yeah.
Well, they still, since joining the conference, they've never won an SEC, and A&M's never won one since joining, and the only coach that has won one is Kirby Smart. Saban won a bunch of them in Georgia. I think Kirby's got 4 now. So till somebody wins one, they're just all, in my opinion, considered good coaches.
Yeah.
But, hey, how many championships have you got?
I think there's 5 teams that have never won one. I think South Carolina's one of them. And Mississippi State.
Oh, no, it's only 6 teams that have won one.
Yeah.
You know that? Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee on our side. And on the other side, LSU, Alabama, and Auburn. Those 3 have won one. Now, this is since 1992.
Yeah.
We started in 92.
Yeah, because that's when you have to
six teams. And
if somebody won it in 1948, that's not going to do much for them.
nah, since the championship game.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
And we'll see where that championship game goes. But I don't know how much you paid attention to all the stuff that was going on this week about. And again, I wish I had spent paid more attention on my media law class in college at Florida. But now we had to deal with they've got this bill. The Big Ten and the SEC finally have agreed to back the bill. But I don't think it's going to pass in Congress. They'll attach all these amendments to it and try to get some kind of power plant for their district and everything. And then we had the judge that came down and said that basically these 5 guys that are 5-year players can play 5 years now.
Yeah, the whole,
So
whole
hopefully that
different game.
means that's good for. I mean, the NCAA is going to appeal, but they don't win many appeals. That hopefully means Denzel Aberdeen will be able to play, which I think they felt confident he was.
I tell you, our local newspaper, I don't know whose idea it was, but they're reminiscing about our 96 team 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It was 30 years ago that we won the national championship. In fact, that team in 96 scored more points than any team ever in college football history. And no one's broken how many points the '96 team scored.
And you
Now,
had
our
one fewer
defense scored a
game, yeah.
bunch. Our defense scored a bunch that year also.
They did.
First game of the season, I think we scored four.
Four
Four
touchdowns.
Southwest Louisiana.
We're
or
like,
somewhere.
hey, Bobby Stoops knows what he's doing.
Yeah, our offense get all the credit, but our defense was dang good and could score also. So anyway, it's neat. I hopefully we can put a little reunion back for that '96 team and honor them since it was 30 years ago. So
Yeah, I was talking to Zach about that, and he said, yeah, they only do the 20 every 25.
yeah, our school's just always done 10, 25, and then 50.
Yeah.
Well,
A lot of people die between 25 and
we did our
50.
25 5 years ago, but the coaches, ain't many of us going to be here 101 years old. So anyway, to me, I think if it's a national champ, go every 10 years after 25.
I think
like
so,
that,
too.
or 5 or 10 years or something like that.
Well, I tell you,
So,
if you do something here at the restaurant, there'll be a lot of players will come back because they want to celebrate that.
Yeah, but I mean, we've lost a lot of our 66 team also. I was hoping to have the 66 team with the 96. But 66, if we can bring 10 or 15 back, that would be wonderful there. But the 96 team, yeah, they would all be, I think, happy to come back for a little get-together.
Yeah, I did a thing like 10 years ago about the 20th anniversary, and I tracked down every player that played in that game.
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was a lot of work.
That team averaged 47 points a game.
Yeah. Well, that run
And,
you put together against
13 games, yeah.
it was what was it? LSU, Auburn, Georgia, and you destroyed them, all three of them.
50, yeah. Well, yeah, those guys could score. Ike Riedel and Quezzy, and of course Danny Warfel, his Heisman year and so forth.
Yep.
But we got some help. We got a lot of help after we had lost at FSU 24-21. We had a bunch of teams that need to lose that were ranked ahead of us, and I'd be dang, every one of them lost. And Ohio State beat Arizona State in the Rose Bowl the day before we played FSU. So the Lord was smiling on us, as we would all say, to get to that game, and then we really played one of our best ones ever. Yeah.
Well, we need to wrap it up with our Campus USA Play of the Weekend. It is brought to you by our friends at Campus USA, where both Coach and I bank. And our Play of the Weekend is there's not a lot going on, but this was going on. A moonshot by Jack Caglione, his 18th homer of the year already.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and he's really doing well. And he's only hitting 250, but he's that's hey, look, in
Hit a few
Major
out.
League Baseball, if you can hit homers, that's all they really need. But
Homers and 250s,
they-
not all
they-
bad, yeah.
yeah, they love them a little Jack Caglione up there, but he's doing really well. 18 homers and I think 42 ribbies right now for Jack. So a Jack smack, as I like to call it, and he's a lot of fun to watch. All right, Coach, we'll let you go. By the way, I wanted to tell you that we talk about the Heisman. You talked about Danny's Heisman. Arch Manning is second as a Heisman favorite. So I don't know,
Who's first this year, they say?
C.J. Carr, the Notre Dame quarterback.
Oh, okay.
So I think they think I think a lot
rival.
of people think Notre Dame's going to be really good, and he's going to be good, and it's just the combination's going to be pretty overwhelming.
Well, I tell you, they still schedule. Notre Dame doesn't play quite the schedule, and
No,
neither does a lot of Big
They
Ten
softened
teams.
it up this year too. They went
And
took USC off.
yeah, they were complaining, or some of the coaches had been talking, who's the best, the Big Ten or the SEC? Bama was 11-29 at Arkansas. So
That's right.
but he's beat Tennessee.
Beat
and,
Florida too. One
in a bowl
out
game.
there. Oh yeah.
He beat Tennessee and some other team recently, so lately.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
And I sort of agree with Feinbaum. Feinbaum said lately, hey, they've gotten the best of the SEC. And 10 years ago, the SEC were getting the best of them, maybe even 5 years ago. But the last 3-4 years, the Big Ten has won national championship, and they're winning bowl games
Yeah.
over SEC
Yeah,
teams.
they are.
So give them credit right now.
A lot of them opt out. but
Right
then-
now, today, they're
Yeah.
a little better than the SEC. Now,
And in 4 years, it may be the SEC.
at the
we're
end of
crawling
this
back.
next year, we'll
Yeah.
say who's the best right now.
That's right. There's a bunch of
But,
games they need to win.
yeah.
They need to win some of those,
We need
those
to
tough games.
win more than we lose.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
All right, Coach, we'll let you go.
All right.
We'll be back with Yes, Nowhere, maybe with Robbie Andrew here on another Dooley Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studio.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, two things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Adams Rib Company has been a staple of Gainesville for more than a decade and a staple of the Dooley house ever since Kelsey's teeth came in. The first time I walked into Adams, I told my daughter that the green beans are always a test of a great barbecue restaurant, and they were perfect. You know about the ribs that melt in your mouth, and my favorite, the turkey plate. But be sure to go in on Fridays for Nana's Fish Nuggets. They will melt in your mouth. Adams Rib Co., a Gainesville great. Okay, welcome back to another Dooley Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. As we like to do on Mondays, it is a Meldon Monday, so we bring on the great Robbie Andrew on our Big Mills Cheesesteaks Zoom line. Robert A., how you doing?
Good, Pat. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sure you're happy to hear that Denzel Aberdeen appears is going to be eligible for this year.
Yeah, it looks good for him, Pat. But, like they're saying, this could be a temporary. Well, it is a temporary restraining order, I guess. So we'll see. But hopefully, why hurt a kid like him? He didn't play much at all as a freshman. We'll give him another year. What the heck?
Well, the NCAA is going to appeal that court decision, but I don't think they never win anything. So
no,
I don't like their
that's
chances. No. All right, it is time for us to play the game we love to play. Yes, no way, or maybe, brought to you by Big Mills Cheesesteaks. Place to go for all your cheesesteak needs and sausage needs and hamburger needs and salad needs. It's got everything. And you get free fries with the order if you mention that you listen to Robbie on Yes, No Way, or Maybe here on the Dooley podcast. We appreciate Big Mills Cheesesteak street dining done the right way. All right, number one, Robbie, you are surprised that there's only 7 Major League Baseball players hitting over 300 right now, and only 2 in the American League.
Yeah, I'm going to say no way on that, Pat. It's been trending this way for the last maybe a decade, where the thing, nobody cares about average anymore. Nobody cares about using the whole field. Everybody cares about hitting it over the fence, and in the gap or whatever. It's become an all-power game, pitching, hitting. It's no longer like the Ty Cobb or whatever, or Pete Rose, where you find a hole out there and you put the ball in it and you get a hit and you hit over 300. Players don't care about that anymore, it seems like, and nobody else does either.
Yeah, we just had Jack Caglione was our play of the week, the bomb he hit on Saturday. Yeah. But, he's hitting 250 also, So, yeah. He's got 18 homers, and they're happy with that.
You get a 250 hitter with 18 homers at this point and strikes out a bunch. Well, that's okay. He's a threat to a home run.
Yeah.
So,
well, I blame the pitchers in a little bit because they're throwing 100 miles an hour, and so everybody's trying to time it up with a big swing, and that's what's happening. Yeah. You watch and they go, eventually somebody's going to time him up, and when he hits it, it's going to go a long way.
Yeah, Pat. Both sides, pitching, hitting, it's all about the power now.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's get to number 2 on our Yes, No Way, or Maybe. Number 2, Ricky Castillo makes the FedEx Cup playoffs. He currently is just inside the cut.
Okay, I'm going to have to go a maybe on that, Pat. A lot's going to depend on this week. This is the final regular term of the year, and all these guys like him who are on the bubble are going to be, they're going to have to play well or they're going to get knocked off the bubble. So he's going to have to go out and play well. I'm assuming he's in the field. He would, if he's at that position, he should be. But yeah, he has to play well this weekend. Guys are going to pass him because there's going to be a lot of fluid stuff going on with the standings here on the last tournament. It's like that every year.
They're kind of bunched together there at the bottom. So
Yeah.
you got to make the cut. That's number one. And the shame is Billy Horschel did not make the cut last week. So he's like 102nd. I don't know that he'll make it. But if he plays really well this week, maybe he can get enough points.
Yeah. He does have a win this year, Pat. So that definitely is, he's had a good year, but it would be a lot better if he made the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
Which, but you see a lot of changes on that in the final tournament. I'm sure it'll be the same way this weekend.
Yeah. Most of you know, Ricky Castillo is a former Gator and was a big part of J.C. Deacon's success that he had at Florida. All right, and finally, number 3, Robbie, you know how I feel about this. People who back into parking spaces should get tickets.
No way, Pat. In fact, I think you should get a ticket for your obsession with this. You're a parking lot Karen. It's unbelievable. You really are, and you don't even drive anymore, and you're a parking lot Karen.
Well, the only reason I bring it up is because on Twitter on Sunday, Ryan McGee tweeted the same kind of thing out. He can't believe it how long it takes people to back in, then they got to pull out.
So he's a fellow parking lot Karen.
Yes, and then Pat Forty chipped in, and all these people started agreeing with me. So maybe I'm the one who's right.
But no, you're not, Pat. I mean, the parking lots now are so tight as it is, and if you drive a truck or an SUV, backing out can be like a nightmare. And it takes 2 seconds to back in. Let's suppose you're pulling into the parking lot, Pat. It's all full, but one car is backing out, and it's an old woman, and it takes her 4 minutes to get out of that parking spot. When a guy in a pickup would have gotten out there in a second, which would you rather have?
You're age discrimination. You're age discriminating.
Okay,
You're
let's
assuming.
Let's say it's a young
woman.
Let's say it's an old man like you.
Well, I wouldn't be driving. So anyway, yes, it is a pain in the butt to me, but it bothers me. It bothers me, but I tell you who gives me hell about it every time she sees me is Tim Walton's wife, Samantha. She's like, hey, you gone on any rants about people backing into parking spaces lately? And I go, no, not yet. But now I did. Now with you, I did.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Parking lot Karen. Or parking lot Ken. What is a male Karen? A Ken?
A Brandon? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think that you know who doesn't like parking lot Karen? My wife Karen. She doesn't like people. She gets mad at me for saying that. Yeah. She goes, you obsess over that and people who smoke. And I go, yeah.
Yeah. And you're a get off my lawn guy too, Pat.
Oh yeah.
Or Karen.
I'll die on that hill. I will.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Robbie, we'll let you go, buddy. Good talking to you.
I'm going to head to the bookstore. I'm going to back into my spot.
Okay. All right. If you do, then you do.
Okay. Okay. See you, Pat.
Okay. Let's get to our Adams Rib Co. Gator of the Weekend. It is brought to you by our friends at Adams Rib, where you go for all your barbecue needs. Great place to go. In fact, I'm going to go there this week. I've already made plans to have lunch with somebody over there. All right. Our Adams. Oh, by the way, I did want to mention this because Zach, of course, my intrepid producer, looked this up, and a female Karen is a Kevin, which is perfect. And that's all I have to say about that. All right, let's get to our Adams Ribco Gator of the Weekend. It is Nick Zimmerman. Now, you could say, what? Why? What's he ever done? He's never won a game here at Florida. Well, he's getting ready to play them, though. And so I want to give him a shout-out. Nick Zimmerman, the soccer coach at Florida, and the new soccer coach, and hopefully he can get things done. He's got 7 transfers in, but 3 of them, I think, from Mississippi State. They play this week, Wednesday, at 1 o'clock against Miami. So if you hate Miami, go to the game. Or if you want to watch soccer, go to the game. But if you hate Miami, really go to the game. Anyway, they're playing at 1 o'clock at the Diz And that will be, and then they play FIU also on Saturday at 4:00 out there. So both of them are home meets. Again, they're exhibitions. They're just to see what they've got, but I will be curious to find out what they do have. So go watch it and tell me what happened. I don't think I'm going to go watch an exhibition soccer match. I will go see some though when the regular season starts if he gets them to be decent and allows them to score. I don't think last year did they ever score a goal? I think all their ties were 0-0. Anyway, all right. So that's our Adams Rib Co. Gator of the weekend. Let's move along to our Leonardo's and Millhopper quick pick. And you guys missed. A lot of you missed on our pick of the weekend because the Red Sox swept the Dodgers. So maybe there is hope that the Dodgers won't win it all. But that happened, and most of you picked a Dodger sweep. Many of you, a few of you picked the Red Sox to win one game. I think one guy picked Boston to win them both, so he gets a double qualification, and this is your last chance to qualify today. Okay, and then we'll pull on Thursday for $25 at Leonardo's and Millhopper and a copy of my book, 100 Things Every Gator Fan Needs to Do Before They Die. I will sign it if you want me to sign it, or I won't sign it if you don't want me to sign it. I'll do either one, but we'll mail it to you and get it to you. So we're going to give you 3 games, okay? 3 baseball games. Pick all 3 winners. But every one you pick, you get to qualify. I want to qualify more people because a lot of you didn't qualify because you all picked the Dodgers. But here we go. Whoop, knocked my phone off the thing. But I had to pick it up to look at it. All right, so these are all Wednesday games, including Dodgers at the Cubs. Now, it's an early game, so you got to get them in early. Dodgers at the Cubs, I think it's a 1:15 game. Marlins at the Braves, kind of an important series there. And Sox on Sox crime, which is the Red Sox and White Sox. Now, just go Red Sox, Braves. What was the other game? I forget the other. Oh, Dodgers. Whatever you want to do. Just put them in. Send them to patrickdooley54@gmail.com. Although I may quit giving my email address out because I got an email from the cattleman the other day. Because he listens to the podcast, and I give him credit for that. But he did turn it into him yelling at me. Anyway, so our Leonardo's of Millhopper quick pick, 3 chances to win on Wednesday games. Sox on Sox, Marlins at Braves, Dodgers at Cubs. There you go. All right, let's move along to our BMI TeleMed Overachiever of the weekend. We talked about him earlier. Don't forget, BMI TeleMed is your place to go, medical weight loss specialist. Achieve and maintain 727-383-1677. Tell them Pat Dooley sent you. You get a free discount with your order. Our BMI TeleMed Overachiever of the weekend is Michael Thorbjornsen. Because we had to learn how to pronounce his name, even though I didn't. Thorbjornsen. Is it Thorbjornsen?
I think it's Thorbjornsen.
Thorbjornsen.
I think so.
Thorbjornsen. Okay. Well, the guy is a good player. I mean, it's not like he's a guy who learned how to play over in Sweden or Norway or anything like that. I mean, although he has played over there, but he's from Cleveland, born in Cleveland, grew up in Massachusetts, and played at Stanford. So I mean, he's as American as anybody. Because I would root for American over a foreign player. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, 63 on the last round to win the tournament and made that last putt on the last hole. That was pretty cool. So I give him credit. I watched a lot of the golf, and Michael Thorbjornsen, you are our overachiever. Mainly you're the overachiever of the weekend, brought to you by BMI TeleMed, because nobody thought you were going to win. Nobody was looking and going, I'm going to take Thorbjornsen. But nobody thought Koivu was going to win last week. So he shot 10 under this week, by the way. Made some more money. All right. Let us move along. That is our BMI TeleMed Smart Overachiever of the weekend. Let's move along to our Learner Law Club Team of the weekend. We do this every Monday, and we're about to have club teams going, and we talked about this before, and of course, Learner Law, the place to go if you need to get a closing done. And it's really cool that all these 40 teams getting ready to start, and it's going to be exciting to watch, and we'll certainly be able to update you on how they do, because I care what these club teams do. I've had connections with several of them over the years. I think one year the lacrosse team gave us a helmet for our golf tournament, and another year somebody else gave us. I can't remember, but they've really helped us out, and we appreciate them. All right, so that's Learner Law. Let's move along to our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. Brought to you by our friends at Hesser and Kipke. Hesser and Kipke, with over 50 years of combined legal experience in North and Central Florida, Hesser and Kipke is your place for bankruptcy, workers' compensation, and family law. Call or text Ken and Jennifer at 352-339-9920, Hesser and Kipke. Okay, well, let's start off with this whole Sophie Cunningham thing, it's amazing how the WNBA manages to get my attention even for things that I don't want to get involved in. But I guess she talked about how she doesn't think men belong in women's sports. In fact, I wrote about that today. Why doesn't everybody ever complain about women trying to be in men's sports? But anyway. Now I know that could sound sexist, but nobody ever does. What if a woman says, "Hey, look, I want to play baseball"? They let them play if they're good enough, right? I know it's different, testosterone, all that. But anyway, she makes a big deal out of it. And then, of course, that causes rallies outside every stadium she goes to. She gets booed and everything. But there's pro rallies and there's anti-rallies. This transgender thing seems to be a big issue. I personally, I don't think men should be playing women's sports. That's just the way I feel, but it doesn't mean I'm right, and it doesn't mean she's right, and it doesn't mean anybody who believes that they should be doing is right. The coach of the other team last night was wearing a shirt that said "Protect Trans People" or something like that. It said something like that. Look, whatever you want to do, you can do with your life and your body and your life. But I just don't think men should be playing women's sports. I keep wanting to say that, but no. But it's not a big deal to me, to be honest with you. There are things way more important in this world. All right, let's get to number 2 and get off that before I get in trouble on our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. And that is DeAndre Hopkins has agreed to be a coach with the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. So that's a big story because I thought he was still playing. I thought he was going to play another year. And he even said, "I'm not done. If somebody wants me now, you get a bunch of receivers hurt and you want to give me a shot, I'll come." Now, I don't know how Georgia Tech hires him and then says, "Hey, but if you want to go play again, it's fine." I guess he's just one of the coaches there. But anyway, really good player, really like the guy. So good luck with that at Georgia Tech. I'll be rooting for you all year. I think in every game you play. And finally, let's get to number 3 on our Hesser and Kipke 3 things, which is really bad news for Ricky Pearsall. He's having surgery on a PCL that has been bothering him, and he was out already, and now he's out for the year. I don't know. For some reason, the 49ers seem to be jinxed on injuries, but a lot of guys are getting hurt right now and this time of year. And I think a lot of it's guys come back ready for camp, but they're not ready for camp. But that's not what happened here. Poor Ricky Pearsall, what he's been through, getting shot, getting, this injury. When he plays really well. We know how good he is, but I feel bad for him, really do. And that's just not good news. But if you had him on your fantasy team, you might want to cut him. Anyway, let's move along to our Gallo Car Wash Sponge of the weekend. It is brought to you by our friends at Gallo Car Wash. We get all of our cars washed, and we appreciate them. I don't know we need a car wash today, though, as much as it's raining, but, rain and soap are 2 different things. You still need to get that done. Gallo Car Wash. Our sponge of the week is AJ Storr. Now, you guys may have heard of him. He played a lot of basketball already. And this latest ruling, he's in the portal, and he's going to be eligible to play. This will be, wherever he goes, we don't know where it's going to be yet, is going to be the 9th team he has played on. 9. If you count the 4 in high school, played 4 different teams in high school and 5 in the NBA or in college basketball. 9 teams. He's a good player. He's not a great player. He's a good player, decent player. You'd love to have him on your team. But hey, I don't blame him. I blame the system. Again, sometimes we blame the players for NIL. It's not the players' fault. It's the adults' fault. I think Matt Hayes just wrote a column about that. Maybe we'll get Matty on here in a couple weeks. Anyway, all right, so that's our Gallo Car Wash. Sponge of the Week is AJ Store. Let us move along to Mark Gaida presents the 12, brought to you by Mark Gaida from Pepin Realty. We appreciate Mark. Does a great job. Heard from him this weekend. And he actually got in our contest, but I think he picked the Dodgers in both games. Anyway, we decided to give you the 12, and I mentioned this earlier, who the Heisman favorite was, but these are the 12, according to FanDuel, favorites. And it starts with C.J. Carr from Notre Dame, number 1. Arch Manning, number 2. Darian Mensah, who's now at Miami, number 3. I think Mensah is a really good player. I don't know that he's Heisman worthy, but he may be playing on a team that's going to go undefeated and going into the playoffs and put up some nice numbers for him, because I just don't know who's going to beat Miami in that league this year. He's number 3. And number 4 is Chambliss, Trinidad Chambliss, who I think at the end could end up winning the Heisman. If I was going to bet on anybody, that's who I'd bet on. Number 5 is Julian Sayin from Ohio State. Number 6 is Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. Number 7 is Dante Moore, Morgan, who got in the portal, then got out because they gave more money. Josh Hoover from Indiana is number 8. Of course, came from TCU. Number 9, Gunnar Stockton. I think Gunnar Stockton has the best chance, or not the best, but probably as good a chance as anybody to win the Heisman, because I think Georgia is going to be really good this year. Number 10, Bear Bachmeier from BYU. You know him, really good player. I don't know that Bear Bachmeier can win the Heisman. Maybe he can. Number 11 is Drew Mestermaker from Oklahoma State. No, that's not happening. I know they're going to be a lot better than they were last year with Mike Gundy and everything, but he's not winning it. And then number 12 is Ahmad Hardy, of course, the running back who got shot, but he's supposed to be back from Missouri. I don't know what his health is. Everybody says he's going to be fine and everything, so I'm sure he will be. I don't know that he can win the Heisman. I don't know if Missouri's going to be there. Anyway, we'll see what happens, but it's an interesting Heisman list. There's no question about it. Those are the Mark Gaida presents the 12. We always try to do 12 fun things with that. Okay, let us wrap it up as we always do with our games of the week. It's brought to you by the Swamp Restaurant, the great place to go to watch all these games and anything else they've got on TV, because they'll show whatever you want to watch. And the drink specials, the food specials are terrific at the Swamp Restaurant, and you know it. In fact, it was declared by some website as the best bar in Gainesville. So I saw that. Or best bar in Florida, I think it was. Well, Gainesville, I guess it was. Anyway. All right, tonight, San Francisco at Texas. If you're a glutton for punishment, or maybe you get to see Wyatt Langford, although he did strike out for the last out yesterday. 8 o'clock on ESPN. Tuesday, Dodgers at Cubs on TBS at 8:05. Wednesday, Reds at Cubs on 2:20 on the Major League Baseball Network. Cards at Yanks on Prime at 7:05. Pittsburgh at Milwaukee at 7:30. These are all Wednesday games. 7:30 on ESPN. Also, the Little League World Series, the regionals are going on right now, and they'll be on ESPN and ESPN2 throughout the week. So I'm not going to give you individual games, but that's going on there. Also Wednesday, WNBA, Seattle at New York on USA at 7, and then LA at Chicago and USA at 9 right after that. All right. Yeah, we're getting to the point. We're going to be there starting Thursday, because Thursday is the first football game of the year, and I can't wait. Even though it's not going to be exciting to watch, we're still going to watch it, because that's the kind of thing we do. We love our football. Look, I wouldn't watch that exhibition game in the NFL game, even though the Mendoza's not going to play. And I just want to, or what Mendoza? Who was it that was not going to play in the game? Anyway, whoever was not going to play in the game, I still want to watch it. It's a football game, and there'll be players that I recognize. Not like the UFL where I never know any of the players. Anyway, the NFL is better than the UFL. I'm saying that right here. I'll die on that hill too. So that's going to do it for another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. Zach Rothrock doing a great job as he always does here, producing the show. Appreciate Coach Spurrier. Appreciate Robbie Andrew. We'll be back Thursday with a brand new show. We will be back then. Until then, I am Pat Dooley, and I am deep way back, and I am out of here.